Hey, first grade parents. So today we had an extra hour, so we talked about several different things during our lessons. The first thing that we started with was the story of Adam and Eve, so that they lived in grace and harmony with God. Grace is the part of God that lives inside of our soul. So that's the big word of the day. It means that we know, love, and serve God. So we connect that to last week's lesson. That is what grace is. Okay, Adam and Eve, then we talked about the next story, which is the fall. So Adam and Eve had one rule from God, and they disobeyed him. So we talk about what obey means and what disobey means, and talking about honoring our moms and our dads and listening to them, and then our teachers, but then also listening to God. So Adam and Eve had the first sin. Sin is when we don't listen to God. So those are the two big words. Grace is the part of in our soul that God lives in, and it's when we know, love, and serve him. The grace that God gives us is himself in our souls, okay? Then we have obey. What does that mean? It means you have to listen to somebody, follow directions. So simplify it for your kids, but then maybe ask them what they learned and have them give you their explanation, and talk about the ways they can follow God throughout their life. So Adam and Eve had the first sin, and that's called original sin. Because they sinned, they broke that connection with God. So we talk about that breaking of that connection, and then we talk about how God loved them so much that he wanted to still have that full union with them. So he promised he'd send a savior, and through that savior, Jesus, yes, grace is restored in us. So we also connect that to the sacrament of baptism, where it washes away our original sin, and then God's grace is inside of our souls, and that we can know, love, and serve him through our baptism. After those lessons, we moved on to All Saints Day and All Souls Day. We had some fun videos on Formed that we watched, and we talked about All Saints Day being a holy day of obligation, and how we honor all the saints that are in heaven. And then All Souls Day is something that we'll celebrate at church, and I told them to look out for all the pictures at church that weekend, and think about all the souls of the people who have passed on, and pray for their souls to get to heaven. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions. Otherwise, have a great week, and I'll see you on the next.